The communications tower is the primary link for all off-planet communications. Broadcast dishes are aligned for communications directly with UAC Earth and bridged for deep space communications via the Phobos routing station uplink. Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen to more Doom 3 Excellence, and we have a strobe light flashlight! This is an alt-fire function of the flashlight, even though every other gun in the game does not have an alternate firing mode. But it looks pretty annoying, so let's just put it away, and listen to Sarge talk to us on the phone.
Marine, are you at the communications facility yet? You gotta get that message to the fleet now. And watch out for Campbell and Swan. Those UAC suits don't give a damn about what happens to any of us. Now get a move on.
And right off the bat, we are going to stand directly on this trampoline right over here, get bounced up, have a little bit of a fun time, and watch a Kako Demon get a little bit lost, as he doesn't seem to know that we actually exist anymore. That's a new one. I've never seen that happen before, really. But, enemies, they tend to get lost, especially when you're recording video games, because some things just don't appear to function as intended. I have a perfect example of that early on in this level, but we'll talk more about that when we actually reach that point in time. Anyhow, ducking into that crawl space will cause two of these imps to spawn, and here's another one of those imps that just kind of stands still a bunch of the time, not really accomplishing much with his life. And, you know, I'm gonna kill him with my fists. I want my fist to be acquainted with your face, sir. By the way, interacting with this elevator, or just standing near it anyhow, will cause this Kako Demon to spawn. And similar to the Lost Souls, Kako Demons kinda have to take very specific routes to reach you, even if they could very easily just sort of, you know, float above this giant handlebar rail thingy. But you gotta admire how they obey standard OSHA regulations, so I can't complain too much about that. We cannot go to maintenance, we do not have adequate security clearance, so instead, we will head straight for communications. Use our plasma rifle. We have plenty of ammunition for this gun, so I'll probably use it for a bit of time to shoot that guy in the closet. And we will also go ahead and use it on this guy in the closet who doesn't have a gun, but you gotta clean out the closets now and then. There's actually a button right over there, but I'm not gonna press it just yet. I'm actually legitimately curious about something. You see, once you run forward, you're going to spawn this Wraith. But it's just a Wraith, and he doesn't have too much health. But there's one enemy spawn right here. It spawns an imp, and just to sort of verify if this is gonna work or not, I'm gonna allow myself to take a bunch of damage from a grenade. Or, you know, just a little bit of damage, but hey, every little bit of health points you miss counts. So, run in here, pick up these items. There we are. So, if the room glows red by this point in time, and you pick up those items, that imp will spawn. If you're full on both your armor and your health, presumably, that guy doesn't spawn. You can also cancel out that enemy spawn by opening up the maintenance hatch, running in here, and having the Wraith follow you in, I think, because the Wraith isn't actually able to chase you fully, so he just kind of cloaks and gives up entirely, but I don't know, that one I don't fully understand, and I've had that imp just missed entirely a couple of times. It's a little bit irritating, especially when you're trying to go for as many kills as possible on as many legitimate enemies as possible. I technically missed one enemy I guess in the last level, but he's one that disappears, and I'm not really sure if I would personally count that one. Running in here, we're going to encounter two security guards. There's a shotgunner over there. I would consider him the bigger threat, but thankfully, the plasma gun disposes of them rather easily. Our access, however, is currently blocked, and you can hear some guy breathing back there. There are two security guards behind that door. They're a little bit delayed when it comes to opening the door, so we're gonna do that right now by heading for communications. We cannot access the monorail, unfortunately. I'm gonna stand here with my plasma shoot-em-a-gun and sit back here. Try not to get hit too much by those security guards because they are just horrible, horrible enemies. And I'm just gonna lure this guy around the corner. Shoot him for a bit. Come on. Come on, come on. There we go. The other guy, he sort of takes he cowers behind that pillar over there, but we can easily kill him with a grenade. Those two security guards, believe it or not, are probably some of the toughest enemies in the game, just because their timing is inconvenient. They spawn directly after a Kako Demon, and ugh, I do not approve of it. It's nasty enemy spawn. Anyhow, let's move on. Watch them blow up the desk. Thanks, UAC. Also, be mindful because that's going to open up this boss behind you, and there's going to be that shotgunner right over there. However, we're going to be encountering a new zombie security guard type. We haven't seen one of these guys in a long time, as in never. We haven't seen a new zombie security guard in a while is what I'm trying to say. But it is a zombie security guard who has a pistol and he can't hit for crap. But he is incredibly dangerous because he has a riot shield to soak up bullet damage. However, he has a certain weakness to chainsaw blades, which is pretty curious. So, they're really not that much of a threat. Interesting little bit of trivia. Those riot shield troopers are completely absent from the Xbox version of this game. I have no clue why, but just figured I would point it out. And I do gotta have to ask anyone in the comments section, possibly, who may have played the Xbox version of this game, was that any good? I do have to wonder. Was it a reasonable port for the Xbox at the time? Because I heard also that I think it had some sort of local two-player cooperative mode as well, and I think they modified some of the levels to accommodate two players at once just because Doom 3 has a lot of cramped corridors, and honestly, it has a difficult enough time accommodating a single person most of the time. But that's just the way the game is.
Marine, Delta System computers are showing all off-base communication down. It's that fool Swan, isn't it? You're gonna have to find another way to send that message. Make your way to the satellite room and manually establish a link from there. Base schematics are showing the quickest way is through engineering. You can't fail, Marine. Get that message sent.
Alright, let's get a move on then. Head back the way we came. Get spooked by that guy in the shadows. And we're going to be encountering another of those riot shield troopers who just kind of appears right in front of you. But we'll use our chainsaw for a little bit. Watch out for this incredibly noisy zombie, like, good god. He has some serious vocals. He could be a singer for all we know. Also, running into this little corridor over here causes this imp to appear out of the ceiling, and one could assume that was probably the guy we saw underneath the stairs, but that is only making an assumption. Using Seamus Blake's PDA from the communications area, we can run in here, chainsaw this zombie, who's trying to stand up, but we're not going to give him the benefits of doing so, and I'm going to acquire these cells, because I need to make sure I have full cells at all times, because otherwise I'm just never going to use this gun until I force myself to use it, such as instances like this. I mean, the plasma gun is still a pretty good weapon. I mean, it's very powerful, especially against living things, as you may know. So, I feel it's justified to maybe break it out now and then. I would like to do that more with the chain gun personally, but checking back on it, we don't have an exceptional amount of ammo, but we will be getting more in this level. I just prefer to save it for a couple of future instances, which is why I'm really not making much of a use of it right now. Anyhow, watch out for that super spooky imp around the corner, because he's one of those crouching guys that leaps towards you, and the zombie, he waddles towards you, but it could be considered a leap by some terms and definitions. And running into this corridor is going to cause you to encounter a machine gunner over there, and there's an imp up on the ledge. He's another one of those special imps that just simply doesn't move from his position whatsoever, and I want you to pay attention briefly to that little crawl space in there, because we will be accessing that shortly. First of all, however, there should be a shotgunner down there. If I time this right, then I'll miss completely. There we are. Shotgunner around that corner. He sort of takes cover, but then again, I've seen him just sort of standing in this corner, shooting at you like this from time to time, so that's one's a bit of an awkward enemy spawn, in my opinion. Anyway, running in here, we're gonna see this guy who roars at us, but we have a pistol that sort of takes care of things pretty efficiently, and another maintenance worker who has a wrench, so he was probably just going to say, hey, you're not authorized to be in here. Hey, he was guarding this open additional area venting passage, and ducking into here, we can find a small breadcrumb trail of armor shards, and a dainty little health kit sitting in here. That's about it, but it's a secret, so it counts. That's all that matters. Anyhow, I'm gonna use my chainsaw for a little bit more against 3 particular enemies, which you can only really spawn if you run back here and pick up these pointless armor shards. Because when are you ever going to run out of armor in this game, honestly? And, you know, saying that, I'm probably just about to run out of it right here, but anyway, let's watch this guy leap towards us and then get sawed straight into the floor, because ragdolls are lots of fun. Picking up this health kit will cause that guy to appear out in the distance, but our machine gun is fairly efficient at taking care of him. And before I run into that room, I'm just gonna take care of another enemy spawn. That dude. Kill him as well. Also, looking underneath these grinders, then you can find some secret grenades. And there is another secret that we can pick up shortly. First of all, gonna go ahead, open up this door, blow up some of them barrels, and pick up this armor that traps us in here with all of the zombos. However, we do have a chainsaw, so by pressing down on mouse 1 and standing in a corner, just sort of occasionally aiming towards the zombies that are pursuing us, then I don't think we have too much to worry about. I mean, they were probably just gonna try and give us hugs. I believe that there are maybe 1 or 2 zombies that initially appear in here before you detonate the explosive barrels. However, by picking up that armor, causing those extra additional zombies to spawn, you in turn also spawn this imp behind the door, who is another one of those variants that crouches and, nasty, nasty imps. Bad imps. No treat for you. Jump onto this little computer terminal, and if you time it just right, should be able to access this ramp where we can find some more cells. And if you want to head back in the room where you emerged from, then you can find a health kit next to that broken off ladder. Anywho, now that we're done with that, we are closing in towards the communications facility. It's a bit of a trek, but we're making progress. But what you want to encounter is this imp over here. Not necessarily the next enemy spawn, which is going to be a special shotgunner that appears once you touch these items down here. And he takes some sort of specific routes to try and shoot you. Like, he'll either shoot you from there, or he'll run all the way to that ledge and try shooting you from there. And since it's a shotgunner, then chances are if he hits you, you'll be knocked back straight into the bottomless pit, so try not to let that happen. Also, don't get your head crushed by that machinery, it's not a pleasant sight. At least you'll probably be a candidate for a member of Mental's Headless Army if we were playing Serious Sam, but we're playing Doom, so they'll probably just turn you into an imp or something. Who knows. Anyhow, raise the lift. Watch out for this guy. And move on, where we can encounter a special type of enemy placement which allows us to do that quarter bit in strategy, which is by sawing this guy in the crotch. That's gonna be nasty. Also, another one of those special Riot Shield troopers where you can employ the exact same tactic and you'll be fine, really. I mean, if those guys were equipped with machine guns, maybe I'd have more reason to be frightened of them, but as it stands, no, I will not give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I could even just shoot them with the plasma gun from across the map like this, and even if I waste almost an entire clip, it doesn't matter, because they really cannot withstand too many shots if you just aim for headshots in general. So, we could run towards the security unit, or cause those guys to get spooked early. That normally doesn't happen. I've actually... If you run by these enemies initially, and just not pay any attention to them, like, you could disturb them by, like, maybe using your flashlight or something, but you could easily just pass right by and they'll just sort of be sitting there for a while. Until you head back, that is, with one of those security bots that we're going to activate.
Marine, I believe the source of the invasion was from the main portal here in Delta. After you send that transmission, get here as quickly as possible.
I wish I could take all 7 of those guys with me, but that's just not how the game wants to play its cards. Oh, by the way, here's a storage cabinet. We didn't see one of these in the previous level, but it's back. 054, the code is 246, and we just picked up a PDA, I believe, of Mr. Ben Wolf. And you can access this code in an email called Security Access. Yeah. I believe I picked that up. I'm just gonna verify real quick. Yeah, there it is. Here, I'll even show it to you, because we haven't checked out our email in a while. Or... Never mind, I'm sorry, the security bot is getting incredibly impatient, so he's gonna go start killing enemies without me. As security bots do. Well, let's assist him in getting rid of that shotgunner. We can also see that there is a guard back there as well. 2 guards, actually. And even if we shine their light on them, they don't appear to be disturbed, because this is technically a wall. And that's kind of obnoxious. So we have another one of those turret gun areas once more, and this is going to be pretty exciting because we get to use our plasma gun some more, we could probably use our shotgun some more, we could just use a wide variety of different weapons, starting off by opening this door and not getting shot by that guy. Instead, we want to take care of these enemies behind us, these 2 imps. And you may have heard the sound of a wraith. And I do believe that's an illegitimate sound because I don't see any wraiths. I don't believe I've encountered any in a while, so... Yeah, game, you're full of crap, is what I'm really trying to say. There is no wraith. It's just one of those Doom 3 isms where sometimes they play an enemy sound just to spook you and for no other purpose apart from that. I do, however, appreciate how this section is littered with explosive barrels that we can use against our foes. Not against this guy, though. Cacodemon, he's down there, I think. What? Where is he? Alright, this is a new encounter. So, there's supposed to be a Cacodemon here, but all I'm seeing is a glitched shadow effect. Huh. Well, if you believe me when I say it, there's meant to be a Cacodemon down here. I mean, at least the noise played, but the enemy didn't show up. Which leads me to assume that either he got stuck, or the security bot killed him before I had a chance to show that he existed. So yeah, I guess we're not going for 100% kills in this playthrough, guys. I mean, I can still make an attempt to, but that's really bizarre. Well, surprises, surprises. Let's run into this room, and we're going to spawn, I believe, one Cacodemon over there, and one Cacodemon behind us straight afterwards. If you run forward too far, then you'll spawn both of them at once, and considering how claustrophobic this environment is, it's probably best that you try to avoid running forwards immediately. And heading forward in this direction will actually cause one of them to spawn behind you, so I'm gonna ready my shotgun once more. And my security bot was having a little bit of trouble getting rid of that wraith, but there you are. Pick up some more ammo belts. And with that, we've reached the end of this little gauntlet. So, let's take the service lift up to the communications satellite room, where Kelly instructed us to go. Make sure all my weapons are reloaded. You never know who's gonna be inside this elevator, such as a ghost! I am the ghost of Canada Post! Let's head to satellite control.
Only computer system shows Swan and Campbell are still in the area. Watch out for them. And get that transmission sent.
You know, I'm starting to believe that Sergeant Kelly really wants me to use this transmission card that we acquired back in the Emperor plant. You know, to send the emergency transmission. Let the UAC fleet know, hey, it's not great over here. MG-88 Enforcer, serious firepower. Just wanted to show that off. Let's hit the open door button. There aren't any enemies up here in the satellite room. There's just a PDA of Mr. Rob Finch. And let's head straight to satellite control. Mission complete. Insert the card. And let's decrypt this sequence.
Marine, you hear me? Back off from that console. Do not call for reinforcements. We don't know what the hell is going on here, and until we do, this area remains under UAC control. Cancel that transmission.
Satellite connection established.
Alright, so we have another fork in the path, sort of alluding to Alpha Labs 4, where we have the choice of either going on the EFR route or using the service bridge. In this case, it's just optional bits of dialogue. If you transmit the message, I'll show what the dialogue is like probably at the end of this video, just because I figured I would record that in the test playthrough. But I kind of feel like being a dick to Sarge, so I'm just gonna cancel the transmission.
Transmission terminated.
We did the right thing. Until we know what's happening here, we need to keep ourselves sealed off from everyone else. The monorail entrance looks clear. Meet up with us there. We need to reach the Delta complex and stop this.
That sounds just dandy. Let's get a move on.
Marine, you have just violated a direct order. Get your ass back to that console and send that transmission.
I'm not really feeling like it, dude.
Marine, this is your last chance to get...
What? Sorry, I can't hear you! Oh, well, it appears as though communications has been cut off. I'm going to assume it was probably the administrator doing that. Possibly. Right, now we have access to maintenance. Let's get a move on, shall we? And you know, some people might be questioning why exactly I'm taking this direct path. You know, trying to seal ourselves off from the potential use of backup. But to be honest, Swan kinda raises a defensible point. We're kinda fit to fighting the invasion on our own because Campbell, he's got a BFG with an unlimited supply of ammo. Swan has, he has diplomatic skills. And me, I'm just a silent walrus who occasionally falls into bottomless pits. But hey, at least I can chainsaw demons, so I have some skill in that field. So yeah, I have to say, we could probably got things covered from here, and especially with us as a trio of UAC base operatives, I'm sure that we'll be able to take care of this menace on our own. I mean, Sergeant Kelly, he's just been sitting in the office eating donuts this whole time, presumably. And occasionally, you know, yelling at people to, you know, move our butts, get going. But, it's just, it got irritating to me after a while. And I wish I could have responded to him vocally, letting him know, hey, yes, I am getting a move on, but he just... He just had to make sure I wasn't dumb. Unfortunately, he has no clue who I am. I am a guy who has a YouTube channel, and my name on Steam is seriously stupid. So now you know, I'm probably not the wisest creature on Earth to make these kinds of decisions. So here's a great piece of armor over there. I'm not feeling particularly inclined to picking that one up because it involves parkouring over a bottomless pit. Getting there sort of isn't that bad. All you have to do is just sort of shimmy along here. This little mechanism won't actually push you off if you just stand over here, so you should be fine. And you can easily just sprint jump onto this ledge from there. It's getting back that is part of the problem, because I think this is just another one of those surfaces where if you jump incorrectly, you'll just get pushed off. And that little, I guess that other pipe that's in front of you, sort of serves the purpose of messing you up. But surprisingly enough, I got that on the first try. Every other time I've attempted that sequence, I've just fallen into the pit multiple times, so that was a rather pleasant surprise for once. Let's get rid of that guy. Also, watch out for this guy who pops out of the ceiling once again. Stop climbing around in the vents. You know, logically speaking, creatures in the vents should be incredibly noisy, but apparently we have just these soundproof ventilation shafts and nobody can hear anyone else coming, and that's exactly why we doomed ourselves, is that we don't have noisy ventilation shafts where demons could be hiding inside. It's just, we don't prepare for these sorts of things. We pretty much are finished with this level, however. We've gone through the maintenance tunnels, and now all we have to do is just take the lift back to, communications. We could head back to the garage if we really wanted to. That was the start of the level. But I think I'm pretty good on power-ups at the moment. But we have one more enemy to kill. And this guy you can only kill if you've opened up this little crawl space, or sorry, maintenance hatch over here. Is this shotgunner around the corner. That's it. But with all of that out of the way, we have completed communications, so let's say goodbye to that. Let's go unite with Swan and Campbell by opening this bay door and heading towards the monorail sky bridge.
Satellite connection established.
You fool! You have no idea what you just did. If the creatures get hold of those ships, who knows what could happen? You might have endangered all of Earth. I'm going to Delta to stop this. Don't get naughty.
Transmission successful.
Excellent work, Marine. Reinforcements will be here soon. I'll wait for you here at Delta. Get here as quickly as possible.